Okay, here we go. Okay. So, was it your gum? Behind the ear.
It's sitting on my desk. It was fresh.
Perfect. Hi, welcome to T3 Teach Tech Theater. I am Kirsten Branch.
And I'm Julie Benitez.
So we wanted to start off this video by explaining or saying hello again because we haven't done a video since the end of April. We've had some stuff going on. One of the things that we are most excited about is some work that we did with an organization called Digital Theater Plus. Julie, want to explain a little bit about what it is that we were doing with that?
Well, we were contacted by somebody who knew us through Teach Tech Theater, and they asked for us to write some curriculum for middle school for sound and set and costumes. And it took us a while to figure out exactly how they wanted us to do that. And we created some great curriculum. And we're looking forward to being able to create some high school curriculum, hopefully later this year. But it got our brains already buzzing along about what we were going to do for our own curriculum in the year, and really kind of got our juices going.
It did, but in addition to that, it totally sidetracked everything we were trying to accomplish with getting videos done for T3. So we went right from kind of April-ish into that work with Digital Theater, and we'll put a link in the description if you want to check some of that stuff out. I think it's probably published. If not, it'll be published very soon. And then we went right kind of from there to the end of our school year. We wrapped that up and we jumped right in 2 weeks later into our work at the La Jolla Playhouse with the summer program.
And in the meantime, I got knee surgery.
So there's that. So there's been some stuff.
But our work with La Jolla Playhouse, we worked with, normally we work with incarcerated youth during the summertime, but this year due to COVID, we were unable to do that. But we worked with some community schools, and Kirsten and I thought it'd be a really good test to figure out, like, when we start back up to school, what's it going to be like? And for those of you who have not started up school, let me tell you, the kids do not have the stamina they did before.
We found that within the first week, we were used to going, and our program was 8 to 5, and then it got kind of shrunk down to 9:30, 10 o'clock to 2, sometimes 1. But even then, the kids just needed to sit. They were tired, and they weren't used to being actively focused in on humans in a room. I mean, there was a lot of stuff where we just realized, wow, this is going to be a huge reset this year.
And even when they were enjoying what was happening, they just didn't have the focus at all. And having started back up at school, I've already started to see that even if they're kind of willing and they want to do it, but it's a little overwhelming for them. And us, to be honest.
And us. In addition to our work, working with the students at La Jolla Playhouse, we also did 3 theater teacher workshops, kind of more of what we do as T3 versus what La Jolla Playhouse does. But La Jolla Playhouse was kind enough to allow us to kind of co-produce, I guess, these workshops with them, and creating curriculum and how to build a tech theater program and what do you do if you're a brand new teacher. So we had all of that. And then by the time La Jolla Playhouse was done, we had
1 week.
1 week?
1 week before school started.
And then we've kind of both hit the ground running. Now this year, I am the WASC coordinator for our official WASC visit. That's now been postponed, so we have 2 years to kind of get our ducks in a row, which is good. But in addition to that, or as part of that job, it was my co-coordinators' jobs to plan all of the staff development days that as we were coming back in post COVID stuff, as well as the first 4 days for the students. Now, the cool part about that for us, or for me, was the fact that as a new person at the school, it's only my 3rd year there at the school, now everybody knows who I am. And everybody knows that I get stuff done and that I'm a really hard worker. And that's something we've talked about before, is showing that you know how to do teaching, how to do education versus just, jazz hands and drama, is a real important thing to getting some legitimacy within your campus. Julie, want to talk about what you were doing as well?
Well, because I want to be Kirsten when I grow up. I also took over the team building. I didn't take over the entire PD for the beginning for the teachers, but I did take over the team building because our school had some relatively new administration, and the school had kind of gotten spread out, and they needed to really get brought back together. And then, of course, COVID happened. So I did a bunch of team building activities for them. And then I also took over the first 4 days. But unlike Kirsten, who did it with one other person, I instead was more like a production stage manager who assembled a bunch of people of like, hey, help me do this all together. But it took the whole first week of school, and I didn't even really see my students, but I saw every student at school. So, and like Kirsten said, now people know of the theater, kids know, but also the teachers know, like, I mean business. I'm here to build the community of the school. I'm not just interested in myself. I'm looking at the larger community.
But I will say at the end of that time, that was Friday, and we're recording right now on a Sunday. And by Friday afternoon, my feet hurt so bad, and I was just fried. And I figured out on my little Fitbit that I walked 32 and a half miles in those 4 days, just running around the campus, trying to get stuff done. So it did come with a price. So Monday, tomorrow for me, is going to be the first day of really kind of being with my students full capacity, I guess, full brain. So we'll see how that works.
Yeah, we're going to be prepping. I know that's what I'm also doing here on Saturday or Sunday of what am I actually teaching. I already know what kind of the things that we're doing because Kirsten and I talk about the importance of doing team building in those first couple of weeks and a variety of team building activities. Some of those I'd like to share with you later in this video. When we start up school again tomorrow, Monday, Kirsten and I are going to be probably both focusing on team building activities because we have found that has been the best bang for the buck. Spending the time to really work with the kids and get to know who are your team leaders, who are the people you got to keep an eye out for, especially after this COVID year. So here's something about myself. I am a collector. I'm a collector of information. So during this whole pandemic, some people shut down. Some people got crafty, like my friend Kirsten. And some people like me just went out onto the world and I'm like, let me have all your stuff. I watched lots of free theater. I just started downloading, and then started sifting through everything this summer. So I've got lots of team building stuff that I want to add into my existing team building, which some of those things I'll be sharing with you later in the video. But doing that team building and doing SEL, which is socio-emotional learning, doing those kind of activities really benefit you in the long run. Mm-hmm. If a kid is a bit of a turkey, if they know you and you know them, they're not so much of a turkey. In fact, there was a kid that during the first 4 days, I had to pull him over, and I said, "Look, I think I'm going to really like you." And he's like, "No, nobody really likes me." He was being really, really active, and he was being he was a bit of a ringleader. He was trying to get into the wrong group that he wasn't supposed to be in. He was trying to get his buddies all in the wrong group, but you could tell he was the leader. And I said, "No, I think I really am going to like you because I can see that you're a leader, and I can see that you are outgoing. I can see that you're a bit of a character, and I think I really will like you. But what I need from you right now is I need you to go on the journey with me." And then he felt seen, and I wasn't like, because that's what I did in the beginning of my career, and that doesn't work very well. Mm-hmm. I've gotten much better as I've gotten older. Getting to know the kids and letting the kids feel secure that you're on their side. You're not there to screw them over. You're there to help them learn. And doing that for the first couple of weeks brings so many benefits to you as the year continues.
It does. And that's kind of our goal for the next few weeks, is just trying to figure out who these kids are and let them get comfortable and for many of them, a planet that they don't even know. I know for my advanced conservatory class, I now have 16 students in that class that were doing a show. um, but even my seniors, the last show they did for me was in November of 2019. So, and I think it was Julie, you were even one that you shared a video, or you talked about a video from Broadway Teachers Workshop, the summer workshop. And one of the gals said, we just need to realize we all need to go back to one.
Mm-hmm.
And that has really kind of saved my bacon quite a bit, of just realizing I can't pick up where I left off, because and it's not really even learning loss. It's just connection loss maybe, or something. Mm-hmm. But that's going to be the important thing. So for me, the benefits of that connection stuff is worth missing rehearsal time or doing whatever I need to do, because I've got to get those kids used to connecting with each other again.
And used to just being engaged, used to not being on their phone, used to doing something all day long. A lot of them just haven't. I know that one of the things that I am going to be not focusing on, but one of the things I'm definitely going to be learning or doing is to allow them have phone time of like, it's going to be like a building of trust of like, look, I need to talk about this amount for this amount of time. I will give you 5 minutes to look at your phone. And now we're going to put it away. Like, I will give it to you every day, but I need you to focus on me when I'm focusing, when I need you to focus on me. So that they're not just feeling like they always have to check. I'm like, I have you. I'm going to give you time. I promise. I found that during the first 4-day thing, that if we gave them time, they were much better behaved.
That's a good idea. I think I'm going to steal that. I like that. I like that. So Julie, you were talking to me when we were chatting yesterday on the phone. You said that you had some really cool games that you wanted to share or talk about.
Well, I'm gonna have us link a whole bunch of them, a bunch of curriculum. But one of the things that I did with my staff, so as I am a collector of information, I actually was from the Broadway's Teachers Workshop. Someone mentioned characterstrong.com, which I'm going to say it is a paid thing, but there's a bunch of free stuff there first. Go check that out. There's free webinars and stuff like that you'll definitely pull. What do I do at the beginning of the school? How do I lead a group? All sorts of stuff. And one of the things I got from them is an idea called raccoon circles or webbing loops. Now, there is a book. I did buy the book, but there is a free PDF. It's like a 20-page PDF, which I didn't need to buy that book. I mean, I'm glad I have it, but like you can get a lot of stuff from just the PDF and make up stuff. And what it is, a webbing loop is, you know, the stuff that you use when you're ratcheting down something on your car or on your truck, that flat stuff, that's webbing. But that's kind of expensive. For me, it's a little expensive. Now, if I was doing it for a whole school and I had a bunch of money, I guess, but you need these webbing loops that are about 15 feet long. What I did instead is I went to my local hardware store and I got some 3/8" rope. And I burned off the ends and stuff like that. And this is simple. He talks about using a water knot. This is just a simple square knot. I'm not putting someone's life in a square knot because that's a silly idea, but just as a knot, it's great. And I can undo it easily. So I've got this big old rope that's 15 feet with a knot. The things you can do with these raccoon circles, that's the circle, or the webbing loop, there are so many activities. Some of them, so I first started it with my staff. Now my staff, they're grumpier and they're all done with people. They've become lots of little islands. And so one of my goals was to try to get us back together as a group. Like, we all went through the pandemic together. We all need to get back connected with these kids together. Like, we need to be together. And within moments, they're laughing. They're giggling with each other. They're racing each other's groups. And that's exactly what I want. It's the same thing is going to happen in my class. I'm positive. So like, it's super simple. And these are all in the PDF. You can do a simple name game where you have about 8 people in a group and you're holding the circle and you just move the rope along. And when the knot is at you, it's like a talking stick. You're going to introduce yourself about something. There's activities where you're seeing like how fast can you get it to go around the circle? Then you start putting in silly things like, it's the Indy races. And so you go twice around to the right, drop it, everyone spins in a circle, pick it back up, go twice around in the left. And it gets the groups competing against each other, and it's silly. It's not high stakes. It's no one's embarrassed. We're all doing it together. One that I found particularly interesting, well, two actually. One was a name game where you learn everybody's name in your group and you have to pass the knot alphabetically. After you've worked it out with the group, what's the thing, and everyone yells out the person's name. And I noticed how many of my teachers were cheaters, and I noticed which departments they were from. They're like, you didn't say we couldn't, so they just got it in alphabetical order versus going back and forth. And another one that I really liked was called Pizza Toss, which is you're all holding the rope and you have to toss it all up at the same time and try to spin the knot around like a big pizza to try to get it to go a full revolution. And you can't let it go to the ground. So you throw it up, it goes about halfway, you grab it, you throw it again, and see how few of tries you can do. But there's so many, and it'll be in the PDF that we link at the end. But I'm going to use this sucker all year long. I got 300 feet, got 18 loops out of 300 feet. And I think it cost me $60. So really look up raccoon circles. It's worth it. And so many things you can do, especially if you've already made them.
So we wanted to share with you that thing because that came, Julie recommended, Julie approved, and Kirsten's going to steal it next week.
Indeed.
Indeed. So we just want to say that we encourage you and support you 100% as you begin this school year. If you've not yet become a member of T3, please go to our website. We told our teachers this summer, the ones that did work with us at La Jolla Playhouse, we are the worst business people in the world because we give away everything for free.
We do.
So just go be a member. We'll never bother you because we don't know how to do that. And we don't have time. But that's where all the free stuff is. That's where the stuff is that can help you get through this year. We hope. And if not, please feel free to reach out to us. Email us at teachtechtheater@gmail.com. But for sure, check out our website and become a member at www.teachtechtheater.org. And we look forward to hearing from you. Onward into the fray we go.
Onward into the fray.
Thank you very much.